Welcome back to the farm, everybody, and welcome to year 5, where we're off to a rough start thanks to our friend Mother Nature. The snow did not end up melting until about halfway through March, and then we had a couple of hours of rain, so we weren't even able to start getting into the field to do lime until about 4 p.m. on March. Got that done. Got Elliot out there on the cultivator taking care of the corn stubble where we're going to plant soybeans. But the reason I wanted to get that lime down is because that large field, corn is slowly going to start becoming our money crop. So I want to make sure we maximize our yield potential. So that's why I did lime. And now it's time to do some nitrogen. I mentioned that we had some slurry from the cows to get rid of, so we have a slurry tank that we just leased from a local fertilizer company. A local co-op gave it to us, and so now we gotta go get hooked up to a tractor. Now here's the question: how many of you guys caught the little Easter egg out of the corner of your eye during that time lapse of dropping down the lime? Because we are in the 90s now, so we did get rid of the 8050 and we got a different tractor, and it is a different color. Still technically in the current days under the Agco brand. I don't remember exactly when they switched over, but we have us in the barn here a Challenger that we are going to jump in. It is a Challenger MT655, and that is what we're going to use to put down some slurry. So we're going to get after that, and one of the things with this is it does have GPS, so we will have auto steer. So we'll go over here. Alright, let's get this hooked up, and then we'll start putting... Now, if I remember right, it won't give us 100% of our nitrogen, but it will decrease the cost of the liquid nitrogen, or the liquid nitrogen that we're going to put on when we plant, so that'll help. I'm going to turn on my GPS menu. Go down here and get this bad boy filled up, and if there's enough, depending on, I'm gonna have to see where the alfalfa is on the growth stage. I don't know that it's quite gonna be, if it's April before I get to it, I probably won't be able to put any slurry down on the alfalfa field. I did put a little lime over there on that one. Let's get this set up. Am I close enough? Yes, I am. Let's see. Do I want to start? You know what? Since I'm right here, I'll just start right here. So let's get... What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this set right here. So I'm going to bring up my GPS menu. I'm going to set my auto width. We are going to go... We're just going to go straight with where we're looking right now. And I'm actually going to turn my lines are off. So that's good to go. It is set. Let's hit our accelerator here. And let's bring up our mini map so we can see how we're doing. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. and turn this bad boy on. Oh, we're gonna go through this quickly. We're putting this thing's gonna top out over 2,000 gallons per acre, isn't it? I'm just watching that down. It's starting to level off at 1,400. It's still eking up a little bit. You can see on the mini map there too. We're not even putting 50% of the needed nitrogen down. So this is going to take a while. I'm going to go as long as I can here. Go ahead and turn on some lights. We're going to go as long as we can to try to get as much done as we can, because I want to try to get the seed in the ground in April, so I have to get this part down. With the 12-row planter, that part probably won't take too terribly long. But we'll have to wait and see. You can see there's Elliot up there ahead in the Deutz Alice with the new cultivator up there taking care of the corn stubble. That's where we're gonna drop some soybean seed. I did also, if you look at the mini map down here, I did also buy fields 15 and field 7 over there. Those are going to be soybeans as well. So we will obviously get to those. But if you notice, I believe it's field 15, the one right there across the field, if you noticed, already has lime down on it. So we don't have to worry about that one. Oh. So I'm not too worried about lime, and the soybeans don't require nitrogen on precision farming, so we don't have to worry about that there. That'll give us just a little bit of extra income, but like I said, already done the cost. I think we're gonna buy this other bit, the field straight ahead across the road that's got lime on it. We're gonna get to that probably in April, because if you look down here, cornbread is creeping up near its top price. We currently have about $90,000 worth of cornbread, which will give us enough. I'll get my cursor up here. That'll give us enough to buy this field up here. Hopefully I can get that field purchased before the neighbors plant anything on it. And if that's the case, that will go in as corn as well. And then we need $200,000 more to buy the final productions that we want. While I was doing my winter sellathon, I went in there and we need $100,000 to buy the corn dryer, $60,000 to buy the popcorn factory, and $40,000 to buy the pizzeria. Now, those are the last 3 productions that I want to purchase as part of this series. So we're going to need $200,000 there, and that's mostly going to be corn. But then we're going to have to probably get back into a little bit of wheat, because if I recall correctly, we are going to need bread to make the pizza. So I actually went in and shut off our bread production for now. In the bakery, we're only making cornbread because I'm going to save some of that flour that we have. I think it's bread. Hey, and I'm not, don't shoot the messenger here, but I think it's bread, ketchup, and pineapples, if I remember from the initial mod review I saw of this map. I think those are the 3 items: bread, ketchup, and pineapple. I think those are the 3 items that are needed for the pizza production. Don't ask me who's eating that pizza, but that's the way it's built. So that's the way ahead. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish working on getting some of this slurry down, and we'll probably catch you in April when it's time to start getting some seed in the ground. And there's a couple other things that we're going to check out while we're at it, because like I said, we are going to end up selling our stash of cornbread either at the end of this month or at the very beginning of April. What I did actually in January, actually it was December, with the bread, is I sped up time until the bread was at its top price. And if you go look at my cost menu, it says that bread hits its top price in January. It actually hit its top price at about 8 p.m. on December. So I sold it as soon as that price started dropping. Gonna do the same thing with the cornbread. I think we're near $100,000 worth of clothes in there too, and we still got that $280,000 worth of soybeans over there in the bin. So we're looking good for year 5. We're going to purchase some additional land, and we're going to increase our corn production and do just enough soybeans. We might actually end up switching back to, like I said, if we're going to do pizza and we're going to need to be making bread, then we might actually switch back to where those 2 smaller fields over there across the road are wheat every year, just so we have enough either wheat or oats to make flour with, and then that'll be our straw as well. So I'm going to keep working on this slurry here, and we will catch you back in April if I can make it up this hill. Alright, we burned some midnight oil in March and then got up at the crack of dawn in April to get the slurry done, and now we're in the field planting. But I already know what you're thinking. This is not the same tractor that we were using before. Well, what happened is I realized the Challenger, it was struggling, even though it was rated at 200 horsepower, and this planter is rated to only require 120. It was struggling to pull this planter up the hills. I mean, at times it was going 2 and 3 miles per hour to get up the hill. So I went in to do some diagnosis to figure out what was going on, and I already returned it. But if you go in here, oh no, I didn't. You look right here, it was missing. The game was not finding the file that's required for the transmission, so it wasn't shifting, it was just in drive. And even when I didn't have the implement down, it wasn't going over 15 miles per hour. I also realized in doing that research that that model of Challenger was a mid-2000s model, like 2005, 2006 time frame. This Massey that we're using, again, Massey might not have, I don't know the exact timeline of when Agco acquired all of these other brands. So Massey Ferguson might not have been an Agco brand in the mid-90s. I honestly didn't look that up. But this one seems to be doing a lot better, and this 3690 is a mid-90s model, which is the time frame we're in right now. We're in the 90s. So It seems to be doing a little better. It did dip down to about 5 miles per hour there going up that hill. But it is pulling the planter a lot better than that Challenger was. The other thing you'll notice is that number up in the top right corner, because you're thinking, Andrew, didn't you, or Moose, whichever one you want to call me, didn't you sell a bunch of stuff in March and April? Yes, we did. And then what did we do? We spent money. So if you go and, yeah, and see it, so this one's going to be struggling up the hill too. But it got back up to 6, 3, 4. It's trying. We'll get there. What we ended up doing is we bought all of this farmland on the other side of the road. So these 2 fields here are going to get sown to alfalfa. This is just a grass patch that we're going to plow up to sow to alfalfa. And then we're going to put alfalfa up here on field number 4 as well. The other big thing we do, and I need to back out of this to make sure I'm not getting too close to the end, is we went in and contracted to sell our soybeans at $260,000 in June and July. And then we took that to the bank and got collateral, used it as collateral to buy field 5 there. So that's why our money's down. We're gonna trudge through April and May, but then come June we'll go sell off those soybeans, and then we'll pay off our loan, and we'll be back in the maybe in the triple digits. Maybe we'll be back in 6 digits, but that's the plan for right now. And now, see, I switched tractors. But overall, even though this one's slowing down a little bit, overall it's still doing a better job than what that Challenger was doing. So we're going to stick with it for now. Like I said, though, we are now in year 5. So we've made it to the 90s. I was kind of going back and looking at some of the previous episodes, and I realized that I kind of did the 70s in years 1 and 2, started transitioning to the 80s in years 3 and 4, so we're going to transition to the 90s here in years 5 and 6, and then we'll move up to the 2000s in years 7 and 8, and then we'll see where we go from there. But I'm going to continue working on this corn. We're going to put corn down on this field, and then we still got to put corn down on this field up here. This field for now is going to stay alfalfa until I get the first cutting of alfalfa off of it, and then I'm going to actually till that up and plant wheat on that, and I might actually get rid of my little road then that goes in between here. We'll put wheat on that and the smaller field up yonder, and then we're going to have alfalfa all along this side of the road, corn up there, corn here, and then soybeans back behind us. But that's where we're at for now. I'm going to keep trucking along, get this corn in the ground, and we'll be back for some updates. I don't know when. I might actually get some of the I might actually finish this episode in June or July selling off the soybeans. But we're going to get all the planting done, and we'll be back in a couple months. Alright, we've made it to June. We are around 5 p.m., but if you look, the max price for soybeans is $22.27, and we're up to $22.19 at Sedalia. So I'm gonna go look. This is the same thing I ended up doing last time. The grain sell point is about 80 cents behind, but they're still going up. Sedalia is still going up. That is the train. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to haul a couple of loads of soybeans over to the train, and then we should get close to our max price. A couple more changes around the farm. The Deutz Alice, we took that in and had a GPS globe put on that one after our experiment with the Massey Ferguson. We ended up returning the lease on the Massey Ferguson and actually sold a little bit more cornbread, a few more clothes, a little bit more ketchup, and we're able to purchase this white Field Boss, or Workhorse. So we got a white Workhorse 195 here. Sorry that truck is so loud. And it also has GPS. So those are our two tractors now as we're in the 90s. But I'm going to go jump into this truck right now, and we're going to get some of these soybeans sold off. So we can pay off our loan and make a couple more changes. So I'm going to load up to this truck. This truck makes so much noise that I'm not going to sit here and try to talk over it the whole time. So we'll be back when it's time to jump in the train. I'm pretty sure it's going to take me a couple of trips because I have 3,400 bushels here, and I don't remember how much this truck pulled. Yep. A little over 1,600, so we're going to have a couple of trips to make here. Oops, as I hit the wrong button. We're going to have a couple of trips to make here to get the soybeans into town, so we'll be back when it's time to jump in the train and get them sold off. Alright, we're sitting here waiting on the train. What I did is I sped up time until we hit the drop dead point. So you can see here $22.90. It's the soybeans have hit their top price at Sedalia and they're starting to go down. So we're actually going to get around $8,000 more than we were expecting. If I go over here, they're still going up at the grain sell point, but I don't know that it's going to go up another $2, and we've already dropped off all of the soybeans here for the train. So we're just gonna do it this way. So we're waiting on the train right now. It says it is almost here. There it is. So we are gonna go jump into this thing. Let's see, I need to... Looks like I need to open the... There we go, open the cover. And right about there should be good. There we go. Now we're not going to get... We might not get quite that amount because there was only about 90 bushel left. Maybe 100 bushel left that I left in the silo because I didn't feel like driving all the way back to the farm to get it. But that's all right. So, are we gonna need 2 train cars here? I think we're gonna need a second train car. So let's pull forward. Oh, wrong way. And put some soybeans in the second train car here. Yep. Gotta put 780 bushel there too. Alright. All full. Let's go sell this. wish this thing would go a little bit faster than this, but we'll be alright. What was it gonna unload into right there? It brought up an unload marker there just briefly. I don't know what's underneath the railroad track right there. Should be getting close to the edge of the map now. Almost there. You can see our icon right there down there about around field 20, getting up to field 19. Come on, choo-choo. Alright, here's the road, here's the intersection, so that means right around here. And I'm using a new set of controls, so I don't know what my horn is, so hopefully we don't hit anybody. And it'll kick us off. We want to sell. Look at that. We did. We did get what we expected. $269,000 in sold, plus almost $9,000 for our environmental score. So now I'm going to do some quick travel. We are going to jump in the map. We are going to run over to the pizza shop. Visit. Run around the front of this place, which it drops us off on the back, and then I got to run all the way back around the front. Pizzeria, we want this one right here. And we are going to buy this for $40,000. Now let's look at our production point. And to make pizza, oh, we don't need bread. We just need flour. So we will make this. Let's make that priority 1 for the flour. Let's make that priority 1 for ketchup. Priority 1 for cheese. And priority 1 for pineapple. Oh wait, I don't need pineapple. How much more do I get for the pineapple pizza though? Because let's go find that. Is the pineapple pizza worth more? Regular pizza goes up to $7.92 and pineapple 10 cents. I don't think that's worth it because we'd have to put down some extra greenhouses, which I had already planned on doing on the farm. I'd already made some concessions to that, thinking we were going to have to do pineapple, but I think at a 10-cent price difference, it's not worth paying for the extra production. So we're going to go back in here. We need to start flour, ketchup, and cheese. So now here's the problem. All of our flour is probably in the bakery, but I don't know if there's a way to get that out. I'll have to figure that out, but we need to go over and start cheese, and we also need to go, so I had turned off my tomatoes because I was waiting for that. So now we're going to change the ketchup to distributing, and we are going to turn that back on, and we are going to go to our dairy, and we got plenty of butter there. We're actually almost out of milk. Cheese, we want to distribute, so we're going to deactivate butter and activate cheese. Alright, that's a wrap there. I was going to go ahead and jump over to the farm and sleep until July and put down some greenhouses to make some pineapple, but we don't have to do that now, so I'm going to jump ahead to July anyway. Got a couple more things that I want to show you, but we'll wait until it's daylight to do that. here on July. Just one thing we're gonna do real quick here. I couldn't figure out how to get the flour back out of the bakery, so if anybody knows how to do that, just drop it in the comments. I'll do some more YouTube and later look it up. So what I'm going to do, I can get 1,000 pieces of flour for $1,000. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and spend $4,000 here and get that. And then we're going to jump in the pickup here and take that to town. And we'll just drop that off at the pizzeria for now. I don't know how far that will get us, but $4,000, it's not bad. We're going to be putting down some wheat here anyway. So now I need to actually run over and grab the tractor to get this loaded up. So let's go ahead and turn you off. Actually, you know what? While I'm thinking about it, we need to go in here and pay back our $160,000 back to the bank. So there we go. That was our loan that we used to buy the field across the way. So now we're back down to $122,000, but that was worth it. That entire field over there is corn, and I actually ended up over here. I actually ended up taking out this alfalfa right here. So this entire thing up into the road, this is all corn, but we ran out of money, ran out of seed, and didn't have any more money to buy any soybeans. So there's nothing on that field right now. So we'll probably do wheat that in fall. 14, 13, 6, 4, and 7 right now are all alfalfa, as well as number 3. 7 and 3 should be ready to cut, so we're going to get some hay off of them this month, and then I'm probably going to end up turning those into wheat fields as well. So that's what we got going on right now. Just a little something different than I've shown before. Run in here and jump into, we do still have the 7050. We got rid of the 8000 series, but we still have the 7050. Good old trusty. Let's drop the mixer real quick. It looks like we have some calves again. So one thing I need to do with that, I was going to take the calves. So what I had done over here is I had actually put down a manure heap in a small pen to put the cows in, because the greenhouse for the pineapples was going to need manure. So I had put down a manure heap. You can't see because our landscape back there, but I had put a manure heap in a small shed right here, a small barn for the calves, so that I could spawn some manure for the pineapple greenhouse. But we don't need that now. But one of the things I want to do just to limit my reproduction and get a little bit of money here is we're going to go over here and male calves. We got 2 there, so I know we don't get a lot of money for them, but that is it. Alright, just 2 male calves. We still have a couple bulls. Alright, got rid of that. Got rid of our 2 bull calves. That's one thing that I would like to see in future iterations of Farming Simulator. I know there's a lot of other modders and content creators doing the same. We're in around that time to where we should probably start hearing, prior to Farming Simulator 22, Giants, who's the producer of the game, was on a 2-year cycle. So they had Farming Simulator 13, 15, 17, and 19, and then they skipped to 22. So everybody's thinking that Farming Simulator 25, since they act, just like EA Sports video games, they come out at the end, toward the end of the year, and they're labeled for the following year. So Farming Simulator 22 actually came out in the fall of 2021, so we're at the 3-year mark. So there's a lot. Oh, these are liftable, not the normal ones. So I guess I can do this by hand. So a lot of people are thinking Farming Simulator 2025 is right around the corner this fall. So a lot of people are talking about what would they like to see. The most common thing that I'm seeing or hearing is weather effects. There's a lot of people that would like to see drought, or there's mods out there that can turn your field to mud so that if it rains you can't get in the field. But to have Mother Nature play a part in the process, to where your yield goes down because it's too dry, or your crops are in late because it was raining and you have to rethink your strategies. The one thing I would like to see is a better animal menu, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Sorry, you have to bear with me here. I actually ended up buying a cheap steering wheel off of Amazon for the 7-year-old and the 5-year-old to play some computer games with, and I've started using it for Farm Sim, but that means some of the stuff by hand I'm actually doing with a mouse and a keyboard. And I've been doing it for a couple weeks and I'm starting to figure out the controls, but we're still kind of new at this. I don't know if these are all going to fit in here or not. We're going to end up with a nice stack. Good thing we have some straps. But anyway, back to what I was thinking. That turned on my flashlight. What just happened? There we go. But what I would like to see is some edits to the animal menu, and one of the big things is this. So the sell price for whether you do sheep, whether you do pigs, whether you do cows, the base price for selling an animal is based on the age of the animal. So you see my younger heifer is only worth $921. My older cows are worth $1,500. So the first thing, I grew up, my entire background in farming when I was a kid was around growing livestock. We did pigs, we did cows on my grandpa's farm. My cousin still runs an Angus ranch. But the price for the livestock markets are not set on the age of the animal. They are set on the weight of the animal. So that is the first thing I would like to see. So there we got the flower on, so we can take that to town. The second thing I would like to see, there's been some updates. A lot of it's PC only. It's not a console thing, but the enhanced animal system that allows you to have calves and heifers and bulls and piglets. The problem is you don't have the option to wean those animals. So when we were growing up, we would have a bunch of piglets, and once they got to a certain age, we would wean them and remove the possibility of the males to reproduce. For cows, they became steers. On pigs, they become barrows. So if you ever are watching the livestock markets and you hear the term barrows and gelts, barrows are males, gelts are females. A sow is a mature female. Same thing with cow. A steer is a bull that has been weaned or castrated, whatever term you want to use, but you can't do this in the game. See, I got another calf in here. I don't know where that came from. So what you actually end up having to do is put your males and females. If you don't want reproduction, there's a couple things I can do. I can go in here to my animal menu, and I can turn off my automatic reproduction, which means they just won't reproduce. You can do what I did with the sheep, and I got rid of all my male sheep and turned off automatic reproduction. So you can put your males and females in separate pens and turn off automatic reproduction. That's your only way of weaning animals in this game. So those are the two big changes I'd like to see. The other thing, and you saw it, what I just dealt with the soybeans, is the way the markets are set on this game. You only get a high price once a year. That's not how the markets work in the real world. And what you notice there too, the market said that my high price for soybeans was going to be in July. But when did I actually hit my high price? I hit my high price at 9 p.m. on June. So not only do you only get a high price once a year, that high price usually hits in the middle of the night at a time when in real life the markets would be closed. And it doesn't match up with what the game is telling you is going to be the top price. So those are a couple of the things that I would like to see. The two main things I would like to see in the next version of Farming Simulator is fix the markets, fix the way the markets work. Now, like I said, there's mods out there for the animals. There's mods out there for computers to where you can set it to where the market price doesn't fluctuate and you just get the high price all year round, which is closer, but everybody knows how supply and demand works. But in real life, the soybeans don't hit their top price every year in July. And milk doesn't hit its top price every year in October. It fluctuates based on supply and demand. So what I would like to see is maybe once every 3 months you have a top price. It puts a little bit more strategy into the game. Like, we're in year 5 now, and I've figured out how to work around. I know which products. Like I know my cornbread's going to be ready in April. I know my clothing's going to be ready in May. I know my soybeans are going to sell in July. So I've been able to plan my farm around it. So from a video game standpoint, that makes sense. But for somebody that has a farming background, I'd like to see just a few things to make it more realistic. But yeah, so we're going to drive into town and we're going to drop off this flour. And that is going to get our pizza started. I kind of went off on a tangent there, but that's all right. Give you some unique real content there while showing you something that I don't normally show you, and that's my trips to town to drop stuff off. But what else we're gonna do in July? Like I said, we're gonna go cut 2 fields of alfalfa because we're almost out of silage, so we got to get some haylage going. We're going to plow up those fields so that in October we can turn them into wheat. October is going to be a busy month because we'll have two wheat fields to plant. We will have 2 large fields of corn that need to be harvested in October and November. No soybeans to worry about this year. We're at $122,000. I've floated the idea of doing the popcorn factory this year. I think I'm going to hold off on the popcorn factory this time around. We're going to do that next time. That'll be our next purchase. We get this flour dropped off here. Then we can start making some pizza. So I think our next go round of selling cornbread and pizza and clothing, no soybeans this year. So cornbread, pizza, and clothing. We get through this year, going into year 6. We'll look at buying the popcorn factory and the corn dryer as we move into the 2000s. But still a long ways to go on this series. We're not nearing the end yet, but it is now officially. I said the same thing during my old school series, but this is now my longest running series. I'm getting into a routine. When I first started doing videos, I would do 5 or 6 episodes and then I would get tired of that save game and start over. And I would do 5 or 6 episodes and something would go wrong and I would just give up and start all over. Well, the old school series went great and I ended that one abruptly when this map came out. But I have my sights set on a couple of future projects, but one of them that I keep mentioning in the back every now and again, that map is still not out. So that one is way off. But I have a plan for a spin-off, maybe a spin-off of our Alma, Missouri series. But it's going to take us getting to year 8 and getting to the 2000s first. So we still got kind of long ways to go. So make sure you keep watching these videos. I'm I paused the Western Wild series for now because that just wasn't getting more than 20 or 30 views each week. So I'm back to just doing Alma, Missouri every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Look for those videos. Or you can subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell, and you'll get a little alert on your device every time a new video posts. But as always, thank you for watching. Yep, see our alfalfa field there is ready. So actually, you know what that means? We do actually have to spend some money because we got to get a silage trailer. But I'm going to do that off camera. Like I said, as always, thank you for watching. Don't forget the 3 magic buttons of like, subscribe, and notifications. And we will be back next week with more action from Alma, Missouri.